Hi, welcome to All Things Pop Pop. Today I'm going to be reviewing Avengers Age of Ultron. Ooh. Okay, so disclaimer, I want to start off by saying I have read not a single Marvel comic book. Now, that might sound odd because this channel is about comics, but I'm actually a huge DC fan. So I hope I don't get any hate, but Marvel comics have never, or any of the characters really, have never been anything that I was, one, familiar with, or two, particularly interested in. However, their cinematic universe is amazing. And I give credit where credit is due. I may love DC, but right now Marvel is killing it with their cinematic universe. So of course you have to give it up to Marvel, and I may not know the backstory to all the movies that I see, but I enjoy them all the time immensely, without knowing anything about them. So that's my disclaimer. First thing, I'll start by summarizing the movie very briefly. So Tony Stark finds alien tech inside of Loki's scepter that had been stolen by Hydra members, and he harnesses that to make his own AI. And so that's how Ultron is born. It was actually something that Tony Stark had wanted to do for quite a while. So of course, things don't go as planned, and Ultron, that AI that he created, tries to destroy the world. Its reasoning for that, because technically it's supposed to be a peacekeeping software, is that humanity has reached a point of no return, that the only way for them to redeem themselves would be a mass extinction, so that they would then have the chance to start again. So that's the logic behind Ultron trying to destroy humanity for peace. In a way, I kind of get it. Yeah, we've done some fucked up shit, so we're irredeemable at this point. So that logic isn't that far-fetched to me. So first, I'm going to discuss the characters that worked for me in the movie. And as you guessed it, Captain America. Beep, beep. So Captain America is my favorite Avenger. Oh my gosh. What I liked most about his character was that, we know that he's a leader, but he still has his own things to deal with. And we kind of got a better glimpse at that in this movie, I think. And even though, like, all the other members of the Avengers don't always, not that they don't trust him, but they don't rely on him necessarily. And he still, like, even with doubts from other members, he still kicks ass. He's still awesome. So the second character that I liked in the movie was Vision. And right off the bat, when you first introduced Vision, like, you first see him on screen, I just thought Sinestro stole Superman's costume. Like, that's, because again, I don't know who Vision is. I have nothing to compare him to, but right off the bat, the first scene that he's in where he looks at Thor, assesses that Thor looks cool and takes his cape, right? And implements into his own costume. And I love that. I thought that was such a good moment. So honestly, anytime that Vision was on screen, I loved it. I enjoyed every time Vision was on screen. And I can't say that for every character, but I can say that for Captain America, Vision, and definitely I can say that for Hawkeye. So Hawkeye, he gets a lot of shit because he's human and he's useless when you compare him to the rest of the Avengers. You have Iron Man and Thor. Captain America, he's human, he's like super engineered, whatever. It's fun to joke about Hawkeye and his uselessness. So I think they really made sure that they kind of addressed that in this movie. And I believe there was a line where he said, look, all these people are flying and I just have a bow. It may not be perceived that he's needed, but he definitely is part of the team, and his skills are definitely needed, and he's very useful when it comes to battle. So I'm glad they also developed his character, because again, it was fun to make fun of him. So I felt like with this movie, they decided, like, hey, let's give more meat to his character. So now I'm gonna go with the characters that didn't work for me. So first I have to start with, of course, Ultron. The reason why I feel that way is because he was the big bad, and he surely didn't feel that way. You expect the antagonist to be menacing, kind of threatening, and I didn't consider him a threat throughout the whole movie. Like, I couldn't take him seriously, and I think it's because he was supposed to be funny and he just wasn't funny to me. I didn't think that any of his jokes were they they just fell flat. And I think a lot of his humor was like childish. I want my villain to be like bad. And there was a moment where he blasted the Korean scientist or doctor, whatever she was, and she didn't die. And I feel like if you're getting like blasted by the main villain, like you did something to upset him and you're right there and he like attacks you, he's attacking to kill. I mean, that's why I assume. I mean, he's trying to destroy humanity. Like, of course he's gonna kill you. And she survived, and that gets me mad because he's supposed to be a villain. He's supposed to be killing people left and right. I mean, that's just what I expect from my villains, damn it. So yeah, I didn't like Ultron at all. The second character that did not work for me was Black Widow. And the reason for that is because I felt like she only existed in relation to the Hulk. And every scene she was in, the Hulk was in, or Bruce Banner. She was only there to kind of help the Hulk. So she was just like a throwaway character, and it's upsetting because she's supposed to be one of the main characters. You see her on the posters and you expect that she's like gonna have a more meaningful role, and she doesn't. And she didn't before, and she didn't in this movie either. So there you go. I don't like Black Widow in this movie. But again, I don't think that this has to do with this movie. I think they just don't care about utilizing this particular female character. And the third character that I don't think worked is Quicksilver. Okay, so let's just be clear about this. Quicksilver was also used in the X-Men, and he was an infinitely better character there. When you have two characters in different movies, you have to know that they're going to be compared to each other. And when you have one that is so great and it's actually, you know, their scenes is actually one of the better scenes of an entire movie, then you know you have to make that character great, because then otherwise, what was the point of you adding them into your movie if they're just going to be trashed on in comparison to, you know, the Quicksilver that we saw in the X-Men movie? In this movie, I felt like they didn't care. They just threw him in there for fun, and they did nothing with the character. I hate his costume. I hate his hair. I hate his stupid accent, and I don't want to see him again. And I really hope that we don't see him again. So he definitely did not work for me. I hate Quicksilver. He sucks. Every scene he was in sucks. He sucks. I hate Quicksilver. Okay. The next thing I'm going to go into the worst moments for me. So number one, everyone is disrespecting Captain America. Okay. As a Captain America fan, that pisses me off, okay? So it didn't just happen in one scene. It happened in multiple scenes throughout the movie. So first we start with like the guys bantering because, like, you know, he doesn't want to hear them curse. So they kind of joke around about that, right? They do it as a group. But then you have individual characters at different points in the movie are also kind of undermining him. So there was a part where he was fighting Ultron and Hawkeye was like, oh, you can't handle him. And Captain America is like, oh, thanks, partner. Like, way to have faith, damn it. The second memorable moment, because it got me so angry, they were trying to get the Vision's body out of the truck. And Black Widow was like, hey, distract them. And Captain America's like, what do you think I'm doing? He's already fighting him. And it gets me so mad because he's the leader. God damn it. It just gets me so mad when people undermine him because, you know, he's Captain fucking America. You better respect America, okay? So second is Thor's vision. So when Thor gets manipulated by Scarlet Witch and he sees what, you know, that party going on back in Asgard, I still don't understand how that was relevant to what was going on in the movie. Like, at least with Tony Stark, like, he knew that, you know, the theme was danger. And, you know, it ultimately plays on his fears of what would happen if, say, he didn't protect Earth. So with Thor, then he gets this, like, crazy idea. He's like, I have to go to Asgard because I need explanation. I need to end, like, I don't get it. I don't understand why they ended that scene. It was irrelevant. I don't think in any way it fit in. And it didn't pay off, like, showing that. It didn't make any more sense to what he then did next. So the next scene for me that I didn't like was when you had Ultron trying to transfer himself into that Vision body. Now, that's when Scarlet Witch was finally able to kind of read his mind and know where he was going. And she's like so surprised that he's gonna destroy the world. Bitch, what did you think? I don't understand how she could have just like, both of them, the twins, both of them. They just completely just like jumped on board, jumped on the crazy train. He's a crazy robot. What did they expect that he was gonna do? Like, what did they expect? I don't understand. That was so stupid. First, of course, them joining in the first place, but then her reaction, she felt betrayed. And I'm like, you should have done your research. Like, come on. Like, you should know better. Like, stupid. Just stupid. That was so stupid. So the next one is Hulk. And Hulk leaving, and you have Black Widow trying to, talk him into turning the stealth off so they can find him. And then you have him make the conscious decision that he's not going to do that, and he's going to stay in that plane. But isn't the Hulk stupid? Like, the whole movie, and all of the movies, they show that he can't control himself while he's in Hulk form. So how is it that he then, at that moment, understands that, one, he understands how to fly that plane, right? And work it. But two, that he can make that decision that, okay, I'm going to hurt people if I stay. But yet, that previous fight, he hadn't gotten that. So how did he jump so quickly to that realization? Like, how did he start to understand, oh, the Hulk is dangerous. I am dangerous. I need to stay away. And he's never even been there before. And then he goes the extra mile, like, I need to leave and I can fly this plane away. It makes no sense to me. Like, I don't understand Hulk. I don't think I ever will. Honestly, when I was young, I thought he was a villain. And it wasn't until, the movies came out that I'm like, why are they making these movies about, the bad guy? It just never made any sense to me. And someone was like, no, he's never been a villain. He's actually part of the Avengers. I'm like, what the fuck? He's crazy and he's uncontrollable. How is he, an Avenger? That makes no sense to me. Whatever. Moving on. So it's another moment with Ultron, another moment with the Scarlet Witch. When she finds out that Quicksilver is dead, she, goes in her crazy mode, which honestly I thought she would kind of go more berserk. She goes to Ultron, and then she says, well, now you know how I feel. And she rips out his heart. Ultron has a heart. And she rips it out, and he feels pain. Does he? Did she think he did? There's so many questions there. It's just so bizarre that, one, he had a heart. He had a robot heart. And then she thought that he had one too. She knew he had one too. She thought that robot had a robot heart. And she thought that it would hurt him to pull it out. I don't get it. I'll just leave that there. So now I'm going to go into the moments that I did like. So some of my favorite moments. The first one for me is the one scene where I thought that Black Widow was actually redeemable. And that was when she was, surprise, surprise, talking to Bruce Banner about how they're not that different. And she ends up, we see in her flashbacks that, how she was trained. So that sequence was actually useful to her character. We can see why she's that way and why she can connect to Bruce so well, and it's because you find out that she was actually sterilized, and so she can't have a family, and so she does feel disconnected. That was actually one of the better moments that she was in, when she wasn't being a bartender or kidnapped or kissing the Hulk, or eating him, what the fuck. Anyways, second, when Ultron, he ends up repeating a quote that Tony Stark had said previously. And then when someone called him out on that, he was like, I am not Tony Stark. I'm not Iron Man. And he flipped the fuck out and grabbed that guy. And that was the moment I was like, whoa, okay, you don't mess with this guy. It was the only redeeming moment for Ultron for me. So that's why I liked that moment so much, because it was like that. I wanted more of that. I wanted more of him being menacing. Like, you don't want to mess with the main villain, and that moment was what I wished he had been throughout the whole movie. So the next one is Quicksilver's death. One of my favorite moments in the movie, because I hate Quicksilver and I'm glad that he died. Again, very useless character. I don't want to see him again. I hope he stays dead, damn it. Number 4, when they reveal Hawkeye has a family. Now, that was one of my favorite moments. Because that whole scene, when they first arrived to kind of that hideout, which is his home, at first they're like confused, like, where are we? And then they see that he has not only a wife, but he has kids. And this is just not only true for the Avengers, but for the audience. He stops being that character that can be made fun of so easily, because he ends up being the point of envy for every other character. So he's able to have it all. And if you look, especially, there was a moment where Captain America kind of has, you know, this flashback of Peggy. That sadness that he'll never be able to have the happiness that he wishes that he did, that he sees that Hawkeye has. And then I think that's true for all the other characters as well. You know, you have the Hulk and Widow, Captain America. They all can't have what even Hawkeye has. And I think that that's what I love the most about this movie, honestly. It was this scene, because again, Hawkeye became the character that all the other Avengers wanted to be. He was happy, he had a family, he had a bigger purpose to fight than any one of them. Because even though Thor has a girlfriend, oh, whatever, and so does Iron Man, they don't have kids. And it's very different. So that scene just made me so happy. And last, of course, one of the funnier scenes in the whole movie was when Thor had his hammer set down on the table while they were like at this little party right in the beginning of the movie. And they ended up kind of like betting who could actually lift up the hammer. And of course, everyone tries. You first have Hawkeye. He cannot go anywhere near that. And then you have Iron Man try by himself with the hand. Then he has Warhawk help him, and Warhawk is like, yo, represent, like, help me lift this out. And they both can't do it either. And then of course you have my man, Captain America, the one that gets the closest. Of course he's not able to pick it up, but he's able to nudge it. And then the face, like the look that Thor had, like he was like so uncomfortable. Like he was really hoping that he didn't lift it, because essentially he said anyone who could lift it essentially becomes the ruler of Asgard. So yeah, they all wanted to lift it up just to prove to him that, like, you ain't shit. Anyone can do this. We can all lift it up. And props to Captain America, the one that got closest, because of course he's worthy. He's amazing. And they need to respect him more, okay? Damn it, he does too much for that team. So those were some of my favorite moments. Overall, I do not think that it came close to the first Avenger. The first Avenger was so much fun. Fun. And this movie sorely lacked fun. There were some moments that were funny, some moments that were like, you know, some action sequences that were cool, but overall it did not have the impact the first Avenger had. So for me, you might think this is rough, but this movie gets a 7 out of 10. 1 being garbage and 10 being Avengers 1. The movie was good. It wasn't great. So, am I crazy? Do you agree with me? How would you rate this movie? Let me know in the comments down below. And thanks again for watching. Bye-bye.